Greetings, family. So, welcome to the Power of Tranquility. My name is Arlene Kahet, and I talk about relationships and how to create harmonious communication, as well as speaking your truth in a way that is more digestible and so that you can move forward. If that sounds like something that's interesting to you, please go ahead, like, subscribe, and share this video. So tonight I'm going to talk about relationships in regards to spirituality. So one of the things that's always really important is really being on equal footing with your partner when it comes to spiritual matters, and especially for those people who have who operate in the space of metaphysics and doing things that are close to mysticism, and how it is really necessary to be in a place of being truly honest with yourself when you are walking that path. It can be a challenging road for some, simply because it is operating in a space that is really outside of what the general populace is into in terms of spiritual and religious beliefs. But one of the things that I have found is that staying in alignment with who you are and staying in alignment with your truth will lead you to the individual that is best suited for you. And also, that also means being in a place where you are continually being your best in order to be in a place of attracting the person who it is that you desire, like being your highest and best self and bringing your highest and best self to the table. One of the things that I know that a spiritual teacher had shared with me a few years ago, when I explained to him that I felt that I was married to the person who was more or less sort of made for me, that was my divine love mate. And I talked about how that experience sort of transpired and how we got to the place that we were at that time. And one of the things that he shared was that to be able to find somebody that you were on par with, that was a true blessing. One of the reasons why people don't necessarily get in relationship with a person who is the most ideal for them is because there are things that they may actually believe in their consciousness about relationships that need to be tweaked or need to be changed, or there is a perspective that they have that causes them to attract relationships that are not necessarily on par with what it is that they deeply desire. And most recently, what I am in agreement with, I recently heard Patty Stanger say. She said that each relationship that you are in is leading you to the person who is your ideal. And I have found that that is the case, that your relationships in and of themselves are teaching you something. And the question is whether or not there's a pattern that reoccurs over and over again with those relationships that you have had in the past. Because if there is, that is something that needs to be addressed. And you need to start asking yourself the harder questions so that you can evolve beyond repeating that particular cycle, so that you can draw in the person who is your ideal. However, the thing is that, what is those failed relationships showing you? What is it that is showing up for you? Are you in a place of just desperately accepting anything that comes along? Or are you setting parameters for what it is that you are desiring to have? One of the things that I have observed that many people have done in the past is that they will stay in a relationship too long. One of the things that I have found over the years is that when a person is truly interested in you, there isn't a whole lot of hemming and hawing about you understanding and knowing, like, well, what do they think of me and what do you feel? The thing is that people really sort of know right off the bat what it is that they are attracted to, or who it is that they're attracted to. And they know whether or not they want to be in a place of being in a relationship. But a lot of times people end up being in relationships for like 10, 15 years, and they are deeply desirous of having a particular outcome. Say, for instance, a child. Most recently, I watched a show where a person had wanted a child, but she had spent 15 years with a guy who was not putting in the energy and the interest into her, and she was causing herself to be in a place of unnecessary suffering, when that relationship really should have ended years ago. In fact, it probably should have never started, because the thing is that if you are in a place of being mistreated within a relationship, that is an indication of how it is that they think and feel about you. And there is no reason to allow yourself to be mistreated. If kindness is what you want, if caring is what you want, if sharing is what you want, and that is what you imagine that your ideal is, then do not compromise with anything less than what you want. And I think that a lot of times people do get into this energy of settling. And also, if you are wanting a different experience, there is also the opportunity for you to be in a place of choosing a different type of environment than the one that you've been in, because you will not experience anything different until you get yourself into a different space. Anyway, that is it for this evening. And if you have any comments, please feel free to comment below, and I will see you next week. May peace and power be with you wherever you go. Blessings, family.